Good day, good people. It's A.T. Malone, the first of my name because the second is already here. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more videos from your boy. Now, this has been an interesting Tuesday because we just had a huge storm hit down here in Texas. Started overnight into the early mornings, and I got a message from the school district that the buses was going to be an hour and a half late. Now, I was going to wait, but my son needs to get his ass to school, man. He's dialed in right now. He made all A's for the third 9 weeks of the year, so I got to make sure that I give him the necessary support that he needs. So I went ahead, took him out to school, had to pick up the goal because that wind knocked the basketball goal in the backyard down. It was nuts, man. I was outside checking to make sure that nothing was broken. My fence was all right. So it was a little interesting, very different than the normal morning routine that we do. But besides all of that, man, we just make the necessary adjustments and get to it. But enough about that. You know why we are here, man. This is Tuesday content, and you know we are reading The Richest Man in Babylon. And this is part 4, I believe. And we are continuing the 7 cures for a lean purse. Now, last week we talked about the third cure, which was make thy goal multiply, which means that, hey, we got to make sure that we invest our money to where we can get a residual income. And then the fourth cure was guard thy treasures from loss, which means we got to make smart investments. So now we're going to move over to the fifth cure, which is make thy dwelling a profitable investment. And this hits close to home. I love this section of this chapter because this is literally my thought process being a homeowner. So, Arcad says this, man. All too many of our men of Babylon do raise their families in unseen quarters. They pay rent for places where their wives do not have a spot to make them happy. Their children have no place to play. And it brings a man confidence when a man can own his own domicile. All right, I'm going to pause right there. So one of my radical views has always been this. A man has to build the house first. Now, what do I mean by that? I do not believe that you should get a house with your woman, the first house. And why do I believe that? Because you have to prove the concept, okay? You cannot be green and be a leader. So you have to show that you are able to not only purchase and finance your own home, but you also have to prove that you can maintain the upkeep of it as well. You do not want a blind leading the blind and expect your woman to respect you. So no, and this don't go against the guys that actually do it. Kudos to you. I just don't believe that. I firmly believe that, listen, if I want to be the leader of my household and I want my woman to respect me, I have got to show and prove the actual concept of being able to take care of my woman. I need to be able to provide a roof over her head and make sure that she has somewhere to call home and not it being the landlord or renting. To me, that doesn't work, right? And you might disagree with it. I don't care because this is how I live my life, all right? So another thing is this. If you decide to get into a permanent, serious relationship with a woman, you got to think about those things. You got to make sure that she can thrive in her femininity, that she can be the wife that you want her to be. You got to supply her the tools and the environment to be able to do that. And don't talk about kids until you can prove that. Because I also believe this, right? Once you decide to have kids, you need to be able to put them in a house and not in a confinement like an apartment. you got to sit there and take them outside to the park. You got to walk all the way to the park, and you got to do all of these unnecessary things that us homeowners don't have to do. They want to go play outside. Guess what? There's a backyard, there's a front yard, and it's there for them to do that. I love the fact that my son can go wherever the hell he wants in this house. If he wants to go outside and play with Athena, our dog, he can do that whenever he wants. We got a gaming area right across from me where there's arcade games that he can sit there and play. There's a spare bedroom with the PS4. I got the PS5 here in the living room. So he can do whatever it is that he wants. And he got a big ass bedroom that he has a recliner in. He has all of the toys that he wants, and the race car bed. He has all of those things. So you have to take those things into consideration when you decide to have kids. You got to create that environment for them to have a happy life. And I don't believe in happy wife, happy life, but what I do believe in is this. You got to create that environment to where your woman can thrive in her femininity. And with that being said, we're going to continue. All right. So he also says this. Also, it shows the money lender that you are responsible with your money and you can repay him, which means that even though a lot of people say that, the house that you live in is not an asset, I disagree with that wholeheartedly, because you can always leverage against it, which is not a good thing to do. You got to be down on your luck if you do that, but you can leverage it. Some people will take out a second mortgage in order to purchase a property, or they could, get a home equity line of credit as well. But you got to own a home in order to do those things, right? But the responsibility aspect of it, when you go to these banks, if you're a homeowner and you make your payments on a monthly basis, that is, showing good standings, that you're responsible, that you're invested, that you're serious about, your finances. All right. So it will also motivate your wife to care for the upkeep, the things that go on, the cooking, the cleaning, the washing of clothes. It's very hard to motivate your woman when you're not supplying that, because I don't care. Yes, people have to rent. I get that. But it's a difference when you own a house. There's a sense of pride that comes along with that. All right. So he ends it with saying this: thus comes many blessings to the man who owns his own house. It greatly reduces his cost of living, making available more of his earnings for pleasure and the gratification of his desires. This is the fifth cure for a lean purse. Own thy home. Now, I'm gonna be real with y'all. My mortgage is less than most people's rent. You wanna know how much my mortgage is? $1,300. And I live in a nice looking house. All right. So that money that I'm saving from renting goes towards my investments. I can go travel. I can, maintain the expensive cars that I have, because I decided to make the sacrifices early in my life, in my 20s. And instead of traveling and fucking off my money, I saved my money. I went through the trenches to purchase my first home, and I ended up selling that home and using the profits from that home to purchase an even bigger home, which is what I'm living in today. So this part of the chapter spoke directly to me because I'm actually living it, and I agree with 100% of the things that RCAT was telling the students. All right. So now we're going to the sixth cure for a lean purse, which is ensure a future income. And RCAD tells the students this: the life of every man proceedeth from his childhood to his old age. It behooves a man to make preparations for a suitable income in the days to come, when he is no longer young, and to make preparations for his family should he be no longer with them to comfort and support them. So he's basically saying this: we all get older, right? But as we get older and we start having a family and we start obtaining wealth, we got to make sure that we support our family in the event of our deaths. All right. We got to make sure that while we're investing and we're turning a profit, that we are thinking about the actual future of our family, in the case that we're not here. Just like me right now, right? I am a sole provider. It's just me and my son here. So I got to make sure that if something happens to me, my son is completely taken care of. This house is taken care of. And these are the things that I plan on a regular basis. All right. So plan for the future with your current wealth. All right. Set of investments to the side for your family. So he gives a couple of examples: a house, land, money, giving money to a money lender so they can invest your money. Okay. So think about it. If something happens to me, right? I have life insurance. So I have it structured to where if something does happen to me, I have enough life insurance to pay the mortgage completely off, and I can set aside property taxes for the next decade until my son becomes of age, and then he can take over the house. So he won't have to worry about losing the house. My family won't have to worry about losing the house at all, right? And of course, we know that, the land aspect of it. If you do own land, you could save it, you can build on it, you can build houses and rent it, you can sell, acreage, those type of things. And then also, you can just continue to invest your money and just don't touch it and put it in your, in a trust or in your will. So he gives a story about a sandal maker, and the sandal maker spent 8 years depositing 2 pieces of silver each week to a money lender. And the rental rate of it was 1/4. So he went to the money lender and made this deal, and he ended up after 8 years having 1.4K pieces of silver. So Arcad told the sandal maker, hey, keep investing your money and it'll continue to increase in value, right? So he also tells the students this. He's like, man, I wish that some wise men could devise a plan to ensure against death, where many men pay in regularly and the sum would go to the family after death. Well, guess what? We do have that. It's called life insurance. And if you do not have life insurance, it's not expensive. And if you work for a corporation that offers it, you would be dumb as hell not to invest part of your check into life insurance. Me, the company I work for, I spend $5 a month on life insurance, and it's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's simple. You don't have to do anything but put a little bit of your, net. Actually, it's part of it. They take it out of the gross, and it's set. It's sealed. You ain't got to worry about that, right? So the last thing that he says is, provide in advance for the needs of thy growing age and the protection of thy family. This is why I don't like people who live for the now, especially if you have kids. If you are just one of these free-spirited people that's living for the day and tomorrow's not promised, then you're not setting your family up for success. You're not setting your kids up for success. You need to be thinking about your death, because almost every single day, that's what I think about, is my death. How am I going to make sure that my son is taken care of in the event that something happens to me? Will he be financially set? Yes, he will. He will be damn near a millionaire when something happens to me in the event. So I love this part of this chapter because it's speaking directly to me and probably to you guys as well. And it makes you think about certain things. Guys, listen, I understand that interest rates are high, and, we got inflation, and, we got this whole transitional period with this new administration here in the US. But you gotta keep your eyes on the prize. The American dream is owning a home. And maybe you gotta work more hours. Maybe you gotta devise a bigger plan and a bigger strategy in order to ensure that you become a homeowner. But I'm going to tell you guys this. Buy the house before you get into a long-term relationship, because not only are you going to give your woman a confidence and the action of leadership by doing it, but she can, have a lot of things off of her shoulders that she has to worry about. And two, if you have kids, listen, make sure that you set them up for their financial future. If you're not doing that, you're doing them a disservice. All right. Well, that's Tuesday content. I hope you guys like it, enjoy it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will catch y'all next time. Peace.